Religious discrimination in your own apartment building. That's what's next. So at the ACLJ, we were contacted by a young woman who had just returned back from a trip from Israel. She happened to be Jewish, and she rents an apartment on Capitol Hill, and she wanted to put a mezuzah on her door. Now, for those of you who don't know what that is, it's very normal in Jewish homes, and many of you who may be Jewish or have Jewish friends have seen this before on the doorways of Jewish homes. But inside the mezuzah is specific text from Deuteronomy, from the Torah, including the prayer Shema Yisrael, a prayer that many are familiar with, both Christian and Jewish. So she put this on her door. The landlord comes to her and says, "You've got to take that down. It violates our rules. You can't have anything on your doorstep or door." Now, interesting, this is on the frame of the door. So that's one interesting fact. But second, she said, I had this for religious purpose, and she informed the building management, so she went over the landlord's head, and they wouldn't budge either, even though she said it was part of her religious faith. So ultimately, she decides to contact us and seek out our legal assistance. Let me explain how simple this became. We put together a demand letter. Now, in that demand letter, it said, here's all the facts, here's the law, and if you don't do what the law says you must do, then we will take legal action. The law comes from the Civil Rights Act, Title 8. It's the Fair Housing Act, and it has a specific exemption for religious displays. We always start with trying not to go to court, and that's because you can handle a lot of matters without ever having to file a lawsuit. So once the management company got our letter, guess what? The mezuzah stayed. That's how simple some of these situations can be. They don't have to turn into massive cases, but they're important because you are protecting religious liberty by utilizing your rights. Even though this may sound like a simple case or situation, in fact, it's some of the most important work that we do because it's a continued protection of our religious liberty, that constitutionally protected religious liberty that we all have as Americans. I don't think the landlord here was necessarily anti-Semitic or anti-Jewish. I think he was trying to follow the rules of the building. But we do know there has been a rise in anti-Semitism in the United States, even in Congress, and across the world. So I think it's now even more important to stand with our Jewish brothers and sisters. So if they come to the ACLJ because of our expertise, we don't say, hey, we're just a Christian organization. We will defend religious liberty for everyone. But what's next? What's next should be all of us always being ready, willing, and able to stand up for our constitutionally protected religious freedom rights as Americans. So my question for you is, will you stand up if this happened to you? Will you take that step to contact us? And will you take that step to support the work of the ACLJ as well? That's at aclj.org. We hope you enjoyed watching that video. If you want to see more of our content and content like that, check it out right here. If you want to take your involvement to the next level, join the fight. Click on Join the Fight right now, and you can take your involvement with our work to the next level.